You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go. Enough of that. Welcome back to the Kempire channel. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all the things. I forgot to put my headset in. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday. You know, you guys have been asking for Tuesday Takeover. This is not Tuesday Takeover because if you remember what Tuesday Takeover was, it was a mashup of hot topics, but also reality TV and TV talk and recaps. But this is not that because that is a lot. That is a lot to do in just one live, okay? All right, so let me just say what's up to everyone in the chat. If you can just do me a favor and let me know where you are watching from. I am broadcasting live from New York City. It's a beautiful day here in New York City. It's about, 60-something degrees here in New York City. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy, it's free. If you can see my t-shirt, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, we have Are You Okay? Merch now available at houseofkempire.com. Check out the description so that you guys can get your own. And they also have sweatshirts, okay? They also have sweatshirts as well. All right. I hope you guys are well. Where do I even begin? Okay, Montreal's in the building. We got Chicago in the building, New Orleans, Dallas, the Bronx, Maryland, Cali, baby. Sidebar, over the weekend, we did do, this is why it's important to follow me everywhere because sometimes I do short form content that I don't end up doing long form content. So if you watch me just on YouTube, you may have missed it unless you follow my shorts, which I eventually post on YouTube. But this is why it's important to follow me, at least on TikTok or Instagram. I don't know how long TikTok's going to be around, but yeah. Houston's checking in. I see you watching from Ontario, Canada, Toronto, Canada, Birmingham, Alabama. South Africa's in the building. The DMV is in the building. Scotland's in the building. We got black people in Scotland. What's going on? Philly, what's going on? Tiffany says, I'm at work with a pile of paperwork in Queens, New York. What's going on? So the reason why I was saying it's important to follow my short content because over the weekend, I reported about Brandy subsequently walking off stage in Chicago. So she's set to have another Chicago show. Was it this weekend? And she issued an apology, but a lot of people had a lot of speculation. Was it a sound issue? Was Brandy not feeling well? So Brandy ended up releasing a statement. I won't read the statement to you. I already did in a separate video. But basically the statement confirmed both things, that she wasn't feeling well. It ended up she tried to power through the performance. She wasn't able to. And she walked off stage telling everybody 1 second, and then she never returned. Monica ended up coming to the stage and performing a little bit and sending love to Brandy and then left. So a lot of the Chicago fans, although they got a great show, they still missed out on the headlining performance, The Boy Is Mine. So they missed out on like 15, 20 minutes left of the show. So as I said to you before, Brandy came out, released a statement, and apologized to the Chicago fans. So she's set to return this, which is a good thing. She is set to return. Some fans were saying that the fans should get at least a partial refund. But a lot of other fans that actually went to the show said, well, there really was only like 10 minutes left to the show, 10, 15 minutes left to the show. I mean, I don't know. Mr. Melon Magic is such a joker in the chat. No, it's been nothing but love. But a lot of people were saying there's so much speculation. There was a sound issue. There was, she was being a diva, blah, 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 blah. Here's my issue with the whole situation. First of all, the promoters, the venue, they could have handled it better. They could have issued an apology. They could have, told people at the end, Brandy's not feeling well. We're going to have to end the show, something. But they didn't. It just, the lights went up and they were told to get out. How unprofessional is that? So, look, the other side of this, and I said this in the short form video that I did talking about the Brandy and Monica tour. As you know, they're on a multi-city tour. Who planned this tour? It's so crazy to me. They launched the tour last week, and it's just been back to back to back, different city, different dates. And I'm just like, that's a lot. That is a lot for anyone. And this is coming from someone that's done a little bit of a tour. And I'm sitting there planning. I was like, I need time in between. I need like a week or two in between these tour dates. And sometimes you can't do that. If you came to my tour last year, we did Nashville and then I did Atlanta back to back. It was fine. It was fine, but it's a lot because you also have to think about you're traveling. You're singing, you're performing. They're wearing these heavy outfits. Because, first of all, they said the theme was suits. I haven't seen none of y'all wearing the suits. Y'all did it for Beyonce. Why can't y'all do it for these legends? Where's that? I'm seeing people at the different meet and greets, and not one damn person's in a suit. I thought that was the theme. I'm wearing my suit. I'm going to make sure I stay hydrated, too, because I don't want to get dehydrated. But I'm not up there performing. So there was a lot of speculation. Brandy confirmed that she was dehydrated. I'm not surprised by that. You're up there performing. She's performing her butt off. It's not like Brandy's just getting up there and singing. She's getting up there singing, dancing. It's a whole situation. So I'm not surprised that she's dehydrated. And a lot of times people don't even realize that they're dehydrated. So, okay, Tamish says, I had on a blazer. Okay, Tamish, you the only person. You're the only person that I saw. Kalani says, a hot-ass suit at a concert? Well, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that. Y'all pick and choose when y'all want to be like, I don't want to wear all that. But at the damn Cowboy Carter tour, y'all got the theme. Y'all got the whole play off the theme. Just because it's a suit doesn't mean that you have to wear layers. It could be a suit with the cutoff. It could be all kinds of things. It could be a suit jacket and nothing under it. Oh, well. But y'all want to pick and choose. I will be wearing a suit. All right. And depending on how cold it is, it will depend on whether or not I wear a shirt under that suit. I have so many suits, though, because, I just did a tour where I wore suits. So, exactly. Tweety says, suit inspired. You guys were so bothered when Monica said, this will be the criteria for the show. But she said, this is something that all of you asked. What is the theme? And they said, okay, you want a theme? Here we go. We gave y'all suits, and none of y'all are complying. How did this become about the suits? Well, we're talking about the Brandy and Monica tour. The Boy Is Mine. They're doing so well. I'm seeing sold out shows. I'm seeing full houses. I'm seeing so many clips. I need to stop watching the clips because I'm going to see them in Brooklyn next month. So I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Winter. Winter says, hey, you're going to look good in that suit, too. And I'm going to pop out with a suit y'all never saw before. Let me go get a meet and greet. And I'm like, Brandy, where's your suit? Monica, where's your suit? Kelly Rowland, Kelly's been killing it too on tour as well. Kelly has been killing it on tour. Like, okay, now everyone's so critical. Kelly forgot the words to cater to you. She started singing Beyonce's part. If y'all don't leave these people alone, it's a live show with live singing. She's going to forget a word or two. She looks amazing. She looks amazing. You know what I mean? Have y'all seen the clips? I have yet to see a clip of Coco Jones or the other young man, the American Idol. I haven't seen any clips. I've seen Money Long. This is a very full circle moment for me because I love me some Kelly Rowland. Kelly follows me on Twitter. Hey, Kelly. Money Long, I knew her when she was Priscilla Renee before she had her big record deal. She was on the Kempire Radio YouTube channel. Go take a listen to that. Before she was Money Long, she was Priscilla Renee. She's come a long way since then. Brandy, I've interviewed 500 times. I've never interviewed Monica, but I never tried to interview Monica. And it's not because I don't like Monica or I'm team Brandy. It's not that. I've never been that. I've loved both of them for years. I love all their music, their catalog. It's not that over here. I just never reached out to have. No, maybe I have, and it just never happened. But it never happened. Monica, we got to change that, girl. Okay. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll be at the Brooklyn show. You never know. I might pop up at one of the other shows too. You never know. You never know. So Brandy issued an apology for leaving the Chicago show, but she does have another Chicago show coming up this weekend. So I'm sure she will address it and make up for it. So sorry to those of you that had tickets to the last show. Why am I apologizing? Well, I feel sorry for y'all because if it was me, I'd be pissed. If it was me, I would be pissed, and I don't blame you. All right. All right. So I wanted to briefly talk about the Brandy and Monica of it all. Mr. Bell said Gunica was going to come out. I like Gunica. I like that side of Monica. Angel says, let's go to the LA show field trip. You never know. That might be a good reason to get out there to LA. Okay. Kima says, the suits are perfect because it's a play on the Black Dandy too. Exactly. Like, have we forgotten? It's like the year of Dandy. Everywhere I turn, I feel like it's a celebration of Dandy this year, ever since the Met Gala. So I feel like it's a play off of that, and none of y'all want to play along. You guys are boring. Not you guys. Okay, maybe you. Ms. Carolina says, I hope they bring the show to London. I think that would be such a miss if they don't decide to announce some international dates. Some European dates, I definitely think they should. I don't know if they're actively working on it, but they should. Maybe they will announce it for maybe early next year. Look. Anyway. Okay, so I just wanted to briefly talk about that, but I have so many other stories that I want to talk about for this special Hot Topics Live. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Shout out to our King's Guards, our channel members, and of course, our looky-loos that are watching from the back, and our subscribers as well. Tamish says, Money Long, Kelly, Brandy, and Monica were so good. I attended the now infamous Chicago show. We had it. Oh, Tamish, so you didn't get to see the end. Are you going to go to the second Chicago show, Tamish? Oh, and it was such a cute photo. How you didn't mention the American Idol? Jamal is his name? I forgot his name. You didn't mention him. Why not? Just asking. Okay. All right, y'all. Before y'all start downing anybody in the chat, let's let it go. Let it go. Calm down. Okay. All right. I briefly want to talk about Real Housewives of Potomac. Briefly. Just because there's a couple of updates that I want to give you because, we'd like to give you an update. So we reported to you maybe like a week ago. Maybe like a week ago. That Dr. Wendy Osefo, her episode for Wife Swap had been moved or had been removed. That was the word on the street. Well, now, and I literally could have reported this to you way before today, just because I saw the different promos that were coming out in the last week, and it still included Wendy. So I said, okay, so they did not remove her episode, they just moved it back. So our friends over at Deadline are reporting this. They said that, please hold on, as I try to do that. Okay. So Bravo has now set a new date for Wendy Osefo's episode of Wife Swap. And I wonder if they did this because they wanted to just kind of comb through the episode to ensure that nothing would implicate them in there. Maybe. Could be. Or they wanted to wait till the smoke settled. Maybe. So Deadline reports this in regards to Wendy Osefo and her Wife Swap episode. Bravo has now set a new date for Wendy Osefo's episode of Wife Swap, The Real Housewives Edition. The off-shot series was intended to premiere on October 14th, with Osefo starring in the first episode, but was postponed following news of her arrest. Osefo's episode is now set to air on Sunday, November 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Why Sunday? Oh, after Real Housewives of Potomac? Is that why they're setting? They probably had to play around with their scheduling because the premiere episode is coming on tonight. So, Bravo, y'all got to work on consistency is key for success. Changing up the dates, but I guess because they pushed it back, they're going to air it right after Real Housewives of Potomac. All right. The log line for the episode reads, The Real Housewives of Potomac's Dr. Wendy Osefo, who runs her busy Maryland household, prioritizing strict rules, a tight schedule, and education at the forefront, swaps lives with a free-spirited Floridian, Althea Shapiro, who prioritizes fun, independence, absolutely no rules, and ferrets. So if you saw the preview, Wendy walked into the home and there's nothing but animals like everywhere. And honestly, based off of the preview, I was like, I would have left. I would have quit. I wouldn't have done it. Okay. So, will Dr. Wendy be able to find the balance between structure and fun? Can Althea bring a little more spontaneity to the Osefo family? Well, some might say there's enough spontaneity in that family, but okay. Angie Casanevas star of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, will now star in the first episode of The Wife Swap, scheduled to premiere on Tuesday, October 21st, which is this evening, at 9 p.m. Eastern. Melissa Gorga's episode, damn, Melissa, they spelled your first name wrong. 1S? Damn, deadline. They're like, they don't care. Melissa Gorga's episode will air on October 28th, and Emily Simpson's episode, probably the lowest rated episode. I'm sorry, Emily, I'm just saying. I don't think people are going to care. Emily Simpson's episode is set for November 4th, which is Election Day here in New York City. And Election Day around the country, and not just here in New York City, but you get what I'm saying. Wife Swap, The Real Housewives edition, stars the Real Housewives franchise swapping lives with everyday mothers, et cetera, et cetera. So Wendy's episode now will air probably after Real Housewives of Potomac on November 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So they did not remove the episode. They just pushed it back because it was so close to her arrest. Can I just bring up something? And I'm not saying that this is true, but there is a blind item out there, okay? There's a blind item out there, and people are speculating that it has to do with Wendy Osefo. So Crazy Days and Nights reports this, and shout out to our friends over at Bravo Snarkside. They were the ones who posted this. So they say Monday, October 20th, 2025, blind item number 9. This, which is interesting because her episode will air on November 9th at 9 p.m. You know I'm into numbers, okay? Tears of Joy says after her court date. When's her court date? When is it again? November 7th? Oh, her court date's November 7th. All right. So that's probably, I wonder what's going to happen. Well, this will be interesting blind item because the blind item says this housewife thinks she can win at trial. Oh, God. This is giving Karen Huger. I hope this is not true. Okay? I hope this is not true. They said this housewife thinks she can win at trial. She can't. She also wants to stretch it out as long as possible so that she can keep filming and keep getting paid. Watch her try and throw her husband under the bus, too. I don't believe this blind item. And this is why normally I don't really report blind items. But because we're talking about Wendy, I wanted to talk about it. Because I don't believe she's going to throw Eddie under the bus. But I'm open to being wrong. I don't want to see that. But part of this I do actually believe. And the part that I believe is that she wants to stretch this out as long as possible to keep filming. Because as I've said before, the prosecution is claiming the reason why her and Eddie allegedly got involved in insurance fraud was because they're under incredible financial debt right now. I'm not completely surprised by that between all the degrees and, loans and things like that. And then, certain lifestyle you're trying to live up to. I listened to I started listening to the Humble Brag episode, in which it was interesting to hear housewives that have done this show talk about the pressure that they feel to wear certain brands, to live a certain lifestyle. They never did this, but there is that pressure. And this is part of the reason why when you guys say that you want to see rich housewives, I'm like, for me, you don't have to be rich. You just have to be entertaining. And this is coming from someone that's watched housewives when they weren't rich and they just lived a certain lifestyle. It's turned into this. And now I believe between the fans and the network putting pressure and trying to highlight this rich lifestyle because you guys keep saying you want to see a rich lifestyle. I think, yes, you guys want to see a rich lifestyle, but I think not only do you want to see a rich lifestyle, you also want to have interesting people. More emphasis on the interesting people. However, I will say this. Just because you feel that pressure doesn't mean that you should break the law in order to live up to that lifestyle. Not saying that that's what they did, but that's what the allegations are. So they're saying that she also wants to stretch it out as long as possible so that she can keep filming and keep getting paid. Watch her try and throw her husband under the bus too. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that last part. I don't see her throwing Eddie under the bus. Unless, some people have speculated that they believe that this was all Eddie's idea. There's some of you that believe that it was Wendy's idea, but there's some of you that believe that it was Eddie's idea. I've said to you countless times, I don't care whose idea it was. You both were adults. One of you should have checked each other and say, we should not do this. There's too much at risk right now. But again, that's only if the allegations are true. We should also note, yes, although the allegations are pretty damning, these are just allegations. However, I will say this. normally when the prosecution displays this amount of evidence, says to me that they have even more. Lawyers, please feel free to weigh in. I feel as if this is just the surface that they're giving the public, that they actually have a lot more in their arsenal when it comes to the fraud that they're accusing Eddie and Wendy of. Sidebar, I don't know if you guys saw Kiarna on Watch What Happens Live. She was asked about the arrest because you remember when Ashley was on, that was pre-taped before the arrest. I have to give Kiarna credit. She was very gracious. She wished Wendy well. She said she was disappointed, but she's praying for her family. I like that. I thought that was gracious. I'm glad that she didn't tear down on Wendy. As you saw, Wendy posted on social media over the weekend. Again, part of her job is to promote the episode. That's why she resurfaced. And she thanked everyone and God. And Eddie posted after that. And he the song that he used, "Never Could Have Made It." That was the song behind it, along with the scripture. Never could have made it. Eddie, please stop playing with us. It's not your contractual obligation to post anything. I get why she did. So he posted a picture of him and his beautiful family, and with a Bible scripture and the song "Never Could Have Made It." I'm sorry. I didn't know he had that music on until yesterday when I heard it. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, damn. Not this song. Not this one. Never could have made it without you. Sorry. I'm sorry. Your agent Keela says, I think Eddie sent that email to make sure Wendy couldn't say that she had no idea. Wait a minute. There's no attorney who doesn't know emails hold weight in court more than a text. Well, I agree. But as someone that has worked with thousands of attorneys over the years, not all attorneys are that bright. Not all. I'm not saying that but there are those attorneys that you're like, really? Sir, ma'am. Okay, so just saying. Queen says, okay, Kempire said, I couldn't believe that was the song. All right, let's move on. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Don't forget, we're also raising money for breast cancer awareness this month. We only have literally like 9 days left. We're trying to raise $3,000. We haven't even hit $1,000 yet. If you check out any of our last videos, you'll be able to see the link so you can donate. 100% of your donation goes to the organization. Okay? If you're watching the replay of this, you'll see the donation button along here somewhere. Okay, let me take a sip. So that's the update on Wendy. People are still talking about Sunday night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Since we're talking about Potomac, and it's a good segue for me to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta in a second, let me just bring up something. I didn't plan to talk about it, but since we're here, why not, right? It's our lunch hour. So Candace is revealing, because Candace has a new podcast. Candace is busy. Candace is back out here working. She's got an Amazon Live that she's doing. She has traders that she's doing. She's got a new podcast. So on the podcast, she explains why she unfollowed Portia. So let's take a listen to what she said on the podcast. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Months before traders. The reason I unfollowed her is because I happened to see something about Portia sleeping with somebody's husband. It was.
You mean a comment made about Charles Oakley?
Yes.
Sidebar, this is because we cite our sources. This is from Candace's new podcast, Undomesticated.
What the new woman, what's her name?
Angela Oakley.
Angela.
Fantastic.
I really like her.
She made that
yes.
That joke about her husband.
Yes. So I think they were on a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They were on like a cash trip. I saw something where she was saying she better be careful before I sleep with her husband. I said, what? Who on God's green, ghetto, racist, ugly earth would ever fix their mouth to use as a threat, as a woman?
Mind you, when this happened in real time, we talked about it. We were disgusted by it. she's now explaining. Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac is now explaining why she unfollowed Portia.
I unfollowed Portia.
Okay.
I'm going to sleep with your husband as a form of retaliation. Whatever happened to like, I'm going to throw a drink at you. I'm going to cuss you into an oblivion.
Okay, that doesn't land well when we talk about what happened between Candace and Monique. Why even use that as a suggestion? But okay.
Even, if you're froggy and you don't know any better, I'm a slap a hoe. Like, whatever happened to those things? We're
That doesn't land, Candace. Like, why are we using these as examples? No. Okay, but I'm sorry.
using adultery as a form of punishment. And I just it blew my mind because I know, as we all do, the perils of Portia's love life. We've seen her come up from, the bowels of, what's his name?
Cordell.
The Cordell of it all. We've seen her come from that. And we've seen the ups and downs. And, Portia has been a wife. And to know, and I think this is something that she once said, to know the conviction of a wife. And so hold on. I'm going to of a wife. And so when I heard that she said that, I just couldn't believe that she would say something like that.
So it wasn't traitors. It was like, girl.
Yes, it was
I'm
like,
watching the clips.
I can't look at you right now. Like, it was just like, why would you glorify this?
Well, I don't know if it'll help, but because I watched the reunion and maybe give Peace a chance. She didn't apologize.
She did. She apologized.
I believe she acknowledged. Yes, she acknowledged on the reunion that was not in good taste. So she owned that.
Good, very good, Portia. Okay, yeah.
So how do you guys feel about Candace saying that she unfollowed Portia because of that statement that she made on the reality show? Look, I don't know if I really know someone in real life, if I would have unfollowed them because of that. I probably would have said something to them if I know them in real life. I can't blame her for unfollowing someone. We have to remember, Candace is a wife. I think all wives were probably looking at Portia like, you think that's a joke? That is your first inclination to say something if you want to get back at someone? I just saying. So that's what Candace says. She unfollowed Portia, which would be interesting because she says she unfollowed Portia months before Traitors. So it will be interesting to watch their interaction on Traitors. It will be interesting. And their interaction on Ultimate Girls Trip seemed okay. I don't know. See, Jay says, all my married friends felt away and lost respect. I mean, I think the respect for Portia has been diminishing ever since the Simon Gobadia of it all. Sidebar, Simon Gobadia said that he found the fountain of youth, grinning with his teeth that Portia made him get when they got together. Someone in the comment section said, they look alike. They got the same doctor that did their I don't know if that for sure, but as soon as they got together, he got some new teeth and a waist trainer. Yeah. He said he found the fountain of youth. Okay, so you know what he really found? He found Facetune. Okay. He found Facetune. I don't know if it's the fountain of youth. But since we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I wanted to correct something that I said the other day. I think I said that I believe that there's maybe like 2 more months left to the Real Housewives of Atlanta filming. No, Cynthia confirmed that there's about a month left and they haven't taken their international trip just yet. But it seems like we might know a little bit more about what the storylines are going to be. And I believe, of course, look, the things that have been playing out in Kelly's legal situation, her ex-husband's situation, I'm sure that's all going to be playing out. But you may have not seen this yesterday, but Us Weekly is reporting in their exclusive that Phaedra Parks is going to represent Kelly in her new legal battle against her ex. So her ex does not want the kids that they share together to film. Bravo, because they've dealt with this before with exes. They want to cover themselves and they want the court to give them legal permission to film. We saw this and talked about this with Kenya. Kenya won. However, just because the judge over Kenya's case approved it doesn't mean that the judge over over Kelly's case will approve it. So let me get through this and I'll explain to you my thoughts on Phaedra. Yes, Phaedra still practiced law. For those that didn't realize that, I think for those that follow these stories know that she does still practice law. She was just representing another reality star maybe last year, and they won. They won. I think that was the big headline. Like, she won a case. Because, we've seen her lose a case to Bob Whitfield, who's not an attorney. How many seasons ago? Was that season 4? We saw that. Just saying. We've seen her lose a couple of cases. Didn't she represent Candy against Kim? Didn't she lose that one too? Okay. And then all the Bobby Brown cases that she's represented him for. So according to Us Weekly, Phaedra Parks has been hired to help Real Housewives of Atlanta co-star Kelli Ferrell in court. Ferrell filed an emergency petition on October 2nd after her ex, Chuvalo Ferrell, allegedly interfered with their kids' filming, RHOA, Us Weekly can exclusively report. The Bravo star said that she was awarded primary physical custody of their 3 minor kids. Chance Ferrell, born in 2012, and twins Chastity Ferrell and Chelsea Ferrell, born in 2015, in the final judgment entered into their divorce on September 23, 2024. Kelly, 40, said that she was granted the authority to make decisions related to the kids' education, certain health care, religious upbringing, and extracurricular activities. The reality star described it as having the absolute final decision-making authority over extracurricular activities. In her filing, Kelly said that she has allowed her children to film The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Chuvalo has objected, creating confusion and prompting the network to demand judicial clarification before continuing to film the children, the filing read. She claimed that her ex made threats of litigation against the network. We've seen it. He held a whole press conference saying that he was going to sue the network. Todd from The Real Housewives of Miami is suing the network. He's actually filed a lawsuit. Kelly said that the filming has been immediately impacted. She said that the show's producers planned to film her daughter's homecoming dance, but were unsure how to proceed. She says, "As a mother, my children are a significant portion of my storyline. As such, I consented to their participation in The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17. Kelly claimed Bravo and NBC asked for the court to order that Kelly is allowed to film before they continue with the kids being a part of the show. I believe participating is in my children's best interest, Kelly noted. She said that the, quote, memory would be lost if the cameras were not able to shoot her daughter's dance. I don't know if I agree with that, but okay. The court documents showed Parks, who's 51, who is a licensed attorney, is assisting Kelly with this matter in court. They said on September 2nd, Chuvalo held a press conference where he accused court officials and Bravo of, quote, misconduct, according to a local report. He said that he planned to bring lawsuits over alleged defamation and malicious prosecution. In response to the petition, Chuvalo's lawyer, Latoya Francis Williams, told us, after reviewing Ms. Potter Farrell's emergency filing, it is clear that the filing is both procedurally improper and legally unfounded under Georgia law. This motion is an attempt to reopen and modify a final custody decree that has been in place since September of 2024. Francis Williams added that Georgia law strictly prohibits using emergency motions to rewrite final custody terms without a proper petition and proof of a material change in circumstances. What's most troubling is the timing and intent. Well, I mean, look, the timing is they're in the middle of filming the current season, and for her to be a full-time housewife, you gotta be able to show your life, and your children are part of your life. And she doesn't have a husband to be filming with, so the children are the next best part. So Francis Williams added that, and as their father, he has every right to protect their privacy and emotional well-being. That's where I'm conflicted. Yes, a lot of times these co-parents will weaponize the court and make it seem like I'm doing this in their best interest. But the other side is like, no, reality television, we know, is not a great place. And people will have opinions about people's children, even when we say children are off limits. So part of me is like, I can't even argue this point. I'm not against children not being a part of this show. So equally concerning is the decision to return this case to the same judge who previously stripped Mr. Ferrell of his home, business, vehicles, and primary income source without due process. Given that an intent to sue court officials has already been filed, an intent to sue, he hasn't officially. This raises significant questions about fairness, bias, and judicial propriety. Travalo's lawyer ended, a hearing is now scheduled for November 7th. Ooh, November 7th is a hot day. 2025, and Mr. Ferrell looks forward to ensuring the truth is finally presented on the record. Our legal team will also be pursuing additional filings against those responsible for the misconduct that has caused a lasting harm to Mr. Ferrell and his family. On October 13th, Kelli filed an amended petition in the case listing the same issues. On Friday, October 17th, Kelli filed court docs dismissing her ex parte request, essentially dropping the plea for an emergency hearing. She told us, out of respect for the court's time and professionalism, I've chosen to withdraw my ex parte motion. This decision reflects my commitment to allowing our family to move forward while preserving what matters most, quality time with our daughters during their tender years. On the same day, Kelli filed court docs to appoint a process server to serve her ex with legal paperwork. The case is ongoing. First reported that Kelli accused Travalo of being behind on child support payments in July. He said that he planned to fight the court order that awarded Kelli the majority of assets in the divorce, including a restaurant started during the marriage. On top of the drama with her ex, Kelli and her neighbor were recently involved in a back and forth, which led to the police being called. They both accused the other of being the aggressor in the situation. Kelli became a full-time cast member on the show, as you know, in season 16. K-Baby says, wow, Kempire, you'll be busy on November 7th. Leave me alone, Kelli. K-Baby. Leave me alone. I'm playing. Yeah. Sounds like it, but at least we have a heads up. All right? Let me take a sip. All right. So, for those that are just joining us, Phaedra Parks is set to represent Kelli in this legal battle. Okay? My thing with this is a couple of things. I just feel like there's a conflict of interest because this person is your castmate. I personally would not want my coworker knowing or being involved in any of my personal business. However, I'm going to twerk on a fence when it comes to this. On the other side of this, she is an attorney that comes from the world of reality television. So she would be able to, and probably the best, to argue to the court why this is so important to my job, to the children, for them to be a part. So I'm conflicted here. I don't want Phaedra because, you know, she doesn't necessarily have a winning streak to represent me. Is this all going to be the reason why she's representing me as a storyline? I'm assuming so. I'm sure we're going to have a scene with Kelli and Phaedra at Phaedra's office, and a lot of you are going to be like, "Oh, she dusted off the desk to have a meeting." So I wouldn't be surprised that's going to be a part of her storyline. Kelli, I mean, it definitely would be Kelli's storyline. I'm sure we're going to see that scene in the office. But then again, I mean, for argument's sake, if you're going to have someone represent you that's an attorney, then why not have someone that actually understands the world that you are coming from? Maybe. But for me, the cons outweigh the pros. But here we are. But because I want to be fair, I have a good story to report on Phaedra Parks. So let me actually read to you a good story. Shout out to our friends over at Bravo Snarkside, because this story is actually a good story about Phaedra. So this must be a message. Bravo Snarkside says, sometimes it's nice to hear a good story about a housewife doing good with no cameras around. So this was a message that was sent, and this is what the message said. Okay, do you want to hear some good news? My friend was on a flight, and Phaedra was on the flight too. She was in first class and sitting there because my friend saw her chilling and whatnot. And my friend was in row 8 in the coach bulkhead, so heard everything. An elderly veteran boarded the flight, and Phaedra saw him and just offered her seat for him and was like, "Sir, you probably did so much for me already, so I'm going to do a little something for you today," and gave him her first class seat. Aww. I love that. So she gathers her things and goes to Coach. And she goes to 10D and was like, it costs nothing to be kind because we are all going to land at the same time anyway. So let him enjoy a little bit of comfort. Aww.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I love that story. And I couldn't wait to tell you guys. I was like, when can I tell you guys? So now is the time. So she gave up her first class seat for a veteran. Okay. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Phaedra. And thank you to the veteran for your service. Okay. Bergie's watching on Twitch. Bergie says she's restoring her karma. Mary says, oh, that's so sweet. Right? I wonder if she knew that he was a military person because maybe he was wearing one of the hats or something. Well, Phaedra, I'm here for it, Phaedra. I'm here for it. That was really nice. And she said we all landed in the same place. You're right, girl. But I do like my comforts while flying. But maybe it was a short flight. Or maybe not. Maybe she just has a whore and I don't. How dare you? How dare you? Miss Parker said there is a human in there. Yo, Mari says exactly. What's this plan? No. Okay. The season is just underway. Okay. All right. Fine. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's get to some non-housewives related news. For those that might be new to the channel, we don't just talk about housewives here. We don't just talk about reality television. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to subscribe and turn your notifications so you never miss out. One of the things that we've been covering has been the Diddy trial. So yesterday and the week before, there was a lot of rumors and a lot of murmurs that Diddy could be getting a presidential pardon. George Santos got a presidential pardon last week. So now even more speculation. Last night you may have seen this where people are saying, oh my goodness, it looks like Donald Trump might issue a presidential pardon for Diddy. Well, first off, it should be noted that Diddy has started the process to appeal his 50-month sentence. As you know, we covered that. If you missed it while I was away, I had to go live and I covered the breaking news that Diddy was sentenced to 50 months in prison. However, he probably will not serve all of that. But we also reminded you that a pardon was looming. His legal team had already came out and talked about them reaching out to the president for a pardon. So the White House, according to NBC News, is pushing back on that report. NBC News writes this. It said a White House official on Tuesday pushed back on a report that President Donald Trump is considering commuting Sean Diddy Combs' prison sentence as soon as this week. TMZ reported on Monday that the president was, quote, vacillating on a commutation for the music mogul, citing a high-ranking White House official. I definitely think they're vacillating on this, though. There is zero truth to the TMZ report, which we would have gladly explained had they reached out before running their fake news, the official told NBC News in a statement. The president, not anonymous sources, is the final decider on pardons and commutations. Casey Carver, a spokesperson for TMZ, said in a brief statement, "We stand by our story." I'm going to say this. I stand by TMZ's story too. You know why? Because their sources are deep. And I think Donald Trump's ego would not allow TMZ to get the story first. Even though Kathy Griffin says that Harvey over there at TMZ is a gay Trump supporter. But I'm just giving you the full story. Okay, just context. I think context is important. But TMZ says, when TMZ tells me that they're standing by their story, says to me that their source is, and first of all, let's be honest, any White House officials is not like any other White House that we've seen over the last few years. That White House is leaky, okay? Let's be honest. That White House is leaky. So it wouldn't shock me that someone reported to them. Okay? So Casey Carver, a spokesperson for TMZ, said in a brief statement, "We stand by our story." Lawyers for Combs did not immediately return a request for comments about the disparity between the White House statement and TMZ reporting. However, Combs' lawyers had previously told NBC News that they had been pursuing a pardon for their client. They probably don't want to say anything or get in between because they don't want saying something to the public or to a media outlet that might change the mind of the president. I don't know what Diddy is going to have to give up in order to get this pardon, but it's going to be something. And I don't think it has anything to do with money. I think it's going to be more about he's going to have to come out. It's probably going to be a photo op. He's probably going to have to go to the White House. And he will do it. He will do it. Because at this particular point, the community is over Diddy. So he has really nothing to lose. But they're probably trying to figure out those details behind the scenes on what that is going to look like and what exactly Trump wants from Diddy. And again, like I said, I don't think that it's money. I don't think that it's money. Donald Trump is he's going to be even richer after this presidency than he was before. He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money at all. They're building this multi-million-dollar hall over there at the White House right now. Demolition on the East Wing has started. Lord. You know, construction usually takes more than 4 years, right? So it makes me... Okay. All right. Who approved that? Like, can you just start demolishing the White House? Don't you need Congress to approve that? I just tell you this. Y'all messing with... Remember, slaves were the one that built that White House. That White House probably is a little haunted by our ancestors. I wish them luck with that demolition. Anyway, moving on. So Combs was convicted, as you know, back in July on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but was acquitted on more damning charges of racketeering and trafficking on October 3rd. A federal judge sentenced him to 50 months in prison, fined him $500,000, and ordered him 5 years of supervised release. But here's the thing. If the pardon happens, none of that will matter. He will not be on probation. He could be out here with the baby oil and doing all the things, which for him is not a good thing, because if he really wants to change, he needs some of those restrictions on his life. But do I believe that he really wants to change? As you know, he pled not guilty and has maintained his innocence. On August 1st, Trump was asked about potentially pardoning Combs in an interview with Newsmax. He says, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great and seemed like a nice guy. I have to work on my Donald Trump. No, I don't, because I'm not trying to. He says, I didn't know him well. He didn't know him well as much as he didn't know Epstein well. He was partying at the white parties too. He knew him very well. All of these celebrities back in the day used to party with Trump. And I don't judge them for it, because that was before Trump switched parties and was doing all the things. Sidebar, I kind of do look at them with the side eye because of the whole, exonerated 5. Just saying, that was after all of that. Y'all was still partying with Trump. But anyway. So he, when asked if he was suggesting that he wouldn't pardon Combs, Trump said, I would say so. He says, when you knew someone and you were fine and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements, so I don't know. It's more difficult, Trump said. Makes it more. He says, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do. But he never ruled it out. Trump has issued several controversial pardons and commutations in his second term as president. In January, Trump pardoned roughly 1,500 criminal defendants in connection with the violent attack on the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. In May, Trump pardoned the imprisoned reality television couple Todd and Julie Chrisley. And last week, Trump commuted the sentence of former Representative George Santos, Republican in New York, after the disgraced congressman pleaded guilty to charges of committing wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. I wonder what he had to give up for that commutation. Combs has asked to serve out his sentence at the Federal Correctional Institution Fort Dix, a low-security federal prison in New Jersey, but the Bureau of Prisons has yet to approve the request. So he's over there in Brooklyn still? Lord. In addition, the 50-month sentence, the rapper faces strict conditions upon his supervised release. According to the court, documents filed in the weeks after his sentencing, among the conditions is that he attends regular meetings with his probation officer and refrains from drug use with a drug test taken within 15 days after his release and 2 periodic tests after the time frame, according to the 7-page filing. Combs must also participate in an outpatient program that includes testing, an outpatient mental health treatment program, and an approved program for domestic violence, the filing states. Lawyers for Combs filed a notice of appeal in federal court on Monday, aiming to overturn the music mogul's conviction and sentence. A Justice Department representative did not immediately return a request for comment on the anticipated notice. Again, if he's pardoned, all of that goes away. He doesn't have to do any of those things. He's no longer on probation. He's a free man. He'll be free in these streets. Sidebar. Danity Kane. Danity Kane, whatever iteration of this Danity Kane is, announced that they will be going on tour in just a few weeks. But we have no idea what iteration of Danity Kane we will be getting. What we do know is that Dawn Richard, who also testified in this Diddy situation case, Diddy trial, she confirmed that she is not a part. She had no idea, but she wishes them well. They have been retweeting and reposting. They've even sold out some of their dates. But we have no idea who will be a part. And they have not revealed who. I don't know when they will. I don't know if they have at the time of this recording. But we have no idea. I'm assuming Aubrey will be a part, but for all we know, it could be Aubrey and 2 new girls. Some people are saying that's Andrea and the other one. The one that Aubrey did the Dumb Blondes with. What was her name? Damn. It's on the tip of my tongue. I see her face. You guys will remind me in the chat. So I think it's those. I think it's going to be those 3. But very much like what I've said about Shannon. Thank you, J. Pooh. Whew, that was going to kill me. Mary Jane says, Diddy ain't coming home. Some people don't care in regards to whether or not Dawn's a part. I care because Dawn's tone is so important to the sound of Danity Kane. And there's certain parts, even when they did DK3, I was sort of like, oh, we need, like Dawn's element is so important. Some people say, like, how are they going to do this without Dawn? And Dawn named the group. Well, I don't know who owns the name. I think Shannon, Aubrey, and Dawn own it. But remember what we saw with Escape? All you need is one person that owns it in order to tour with it. Fifi says tickets won't sell. Apparently they have. They already sold out some of the dates. Mr. Mellon Magic says probably holograms. I don't know about that. So Danity Kane has reunited. They're going on tour. It's called The Untold Story. All of this is probably off the back of everyone's attention when it comes to the Diddy of it all. But we have no idea who exactly will be returning. J. Pooh says, what about D. Woods? D. Woods, I wouldn't be surprised, but based off the image, I don't think it's D. Woods. But D. Woods has said multiple times that she is not interested in returning to the group. Even recently has said that she's not interested in returning to the group. Mary Jane says, Dawn and D. Woods wish them the best because they're not a part of the... see, I told you. I already assumed that D. Woods would not be a part. So D. Woods has wished them the best on this. Danity Kane is better when it's everyone. I want to see everyone. Exactly. Singer says, so the blacks ain't invited? That's what really made Danity Kane special, too, is that it was like a mixture of people. Now it's just going to be... okay. All right. Risa says tickets will sell as they do have a core fan base. Yeah. Ambi says Showstopper was my jam. Rico says that D Wood says no. Yeah, I didn't get to see D Wood's response, but I pretty much assumed from the image, but also from what D Woods has said before. Kite says that who is going to see DK without D Woods and Dawn Richard? I mean, they did go to see them without D Woods, but without Dawn. I mean, think that Dawn would do a reunion, especially after some of the things that Aubrey said during the Diddy trial about Dawn, and then interviewed Dawn's ex Q and the accusations that he had against Dawn. I did not see them reuniting without another head bump. Just saying. All right. I mean, Jay says Danny Kane walked so that Fifth Harmony can run, and they have reunited Fifth Harmony as Fourth Harmony. I mean, it's still called Fifth Harmony, but they've reunited as well without Camila. Okay. It's so hard to keep these groups together. I did see an interview with, because she has a new documentary out, Posh Spice, Victoria Beckham. She has a new documentary out. I haven't watched it. Have you guys? Is it good? She said that she's open to reuniting. She says in like a fever dream, I'm making this up, she could see them, Spice Girls, reuniting at the Sphere. Quiet as is kept. I never was a Spice Girls like stan. I like their music, don't get me wrong. But when she said them reuniting at the Sphere, and you saw Backstreet Boys reunited at the Sphere, and that looked incredible. Can you imagine the Spice Girls reuniting at the Sphere? I might get tickets, maybe. look, maybe. You know, a lot of times the reason why I don't go to some of these concerts is because of the fans. Because I feel like sometimes the fans are just like, oh, too much. Like, if I went to Backstreet Boys, I feel it's going to be nothing but like, ah! That's why, like, I enjoy their music, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with all that. Ah! Like, you know, just saying. But that's me, to each their own. Angel says that Victoria's Beckham is boring. Why am I not completely shocked? Danny says, yeah, the documentary is good. Okay, see? Sometimes you got to watch things for yourself. We'll see. Oh, yeah, AJ has a solo project out. And let's be honest, he is the singer of that group. I mean, they all can sing, but that man used to sing his face off, AJ. I'm so surprised. Is this his first solo project? That's crazy if that's his first solo project. All right, we've digressed. I will add timestamps after this live. If you're just joining us, guys, don't forget to like the video. It's easy for you to supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Do not forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. You can listen to our live recaps and special episodes, including Club Kempire, the paid Apple Podcast subscription, which you can get a free 3-day trial. You can also hear the Kempire After Dark live from Philly audio there as well, if you did not go to the live show. And check out the description for Are You Okay? Merch now available and tour merch now available at houseofkempire.com. Okay. Oh, yeah. Risa says, yep, AJ and Brian, from what I recall. Well, damn. I missed that moment. All right. Let's move on to Nicki Minaj. Oh, Nicki. So Nicki Minaj, first of all, today is Nicki Minaj's wedding anniversary. 6 years she's been married to Kenny. So the other day we reported to you that she was accusing someone stealing from her. People have speculated that it was her stylist charging things on her Amex. Well, after the news broke that Nicki deactivated her Instagram, I said, oh, is she going to take a break from social media? Nope. Nope. I really thought, I was like, oh, she's going to be quiet. She deactivated her Instagram only for her to go to Spaces and on X to have accusations. So first of all, did you guys see the interview with Gucci Mane and his wife, Keisha Kayor? He opens up, he has a new book, Episodes, and he's opening up about his mental health. Apparently he has schizophrenia. And she talks about how she, has a system in regards to protecting him from the world when he's having episodes. So he was talking about mental health. He's people have said that she's his handler. I mean, y'all love to say handler, but a lot of times this is what partners do. And this is literally what I was just saying about Wendy and Eddie Osefo. I said, one of them should have checked each other. That's what partners do. I don't have a partner, and that's the kind of person I would want that would step in and be like, hold on, let me delete this app. Let me do this. Let me do that. So they did this interview on The Breakfast Club, and Nicki Minaj had some thoughts on the interview. And this is what Nicki Minaj posted on X. She says, Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years. Been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. Really, right now? Hold on. Let me just bring up the picture of Gucci and Nicki, because they go way back. So she says that she's been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. Gucci hates Deborah Anthony. They don't want Deb around me. She's around me now. Well, Deb Anthony has confirmed that before. I literally just saw that clip again this week. So she says, Charlemagne the fraud, Jay-Z's friend and business associate, using iHeartRadio for these disgusting ploys against innocent families. He was around Wendy before her life went to hell. The buck stops here, baby. Bookmark this tweet. Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it. Smiling face emoji. Let's play. Y'all wanted attention? Let's do it. Okay. LAPD, where's the evidence of my home being swatted with a toddler inside 4 times? GUN's drawn. Republic Records, stand up for me. Any effing day now. You'll regret it. Okay. So that's what Nicki had to say. But she said a few other things on social media. She even posted this, because it's always going to lead back to Jay-Z. She posted this AI-generated picture of Jay-Z wearing a pink wig and a queen necklace. And she's still promoting March 27, 2026 as her album, even though she said that she wasn't releasing the album. So she posted this AI-generated photo of Jay-Z, and she says, I am your karma. All right, Nicki. Hold on. I'm not done with this story because I have more to report on this. Because it looks like they talked about this morning on The Breakfast Club. Let me play the audio.
All right, so let's get to this, right? So Nicki Minaj is on X right now, and she is sounding off following our interview with Gucci Mane and Keisha Kayor, his wife, and she says, Gucci wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. Gucci hates Deb Anthony, who's Waka Flocka's mom. They don't want Deb around me. She's around me now. Charlemagne the fraud, Jay-Z's friend and business associate, using iHeartRadio for these disgusting ploys against innocent families. He was around Wendy before her life went to hell. The buck stops here, baby. Bookmark this tweet. Y'all really do not understand who I really am. Bring it. Let's play. Y'all wanted attention. Let's do it. Then she starts talking to the LAPD about something we have nothing to do with. And she's saying to Republic Records that they need to stand up for her.
That's where Nicki sort of loses me, because she has one accusation and then she goes into a whole other thing, a whole other rant, which to me gives like, you seem unwell. Just saying.
Day now, then she says you'll regret it. Now, I've been going down the rabbit hole.
Here? Why did this happen? What brought this
so
up?
what I believe happened is when we talked to Keisha Kayor about what she does to help protect the brand of, Gucci and her as well when he's going through his episodes. And I believe that Nicki Minaj is responding to that because it's one or two things. It's either that because she talked about keeping him off of social media and deleting apps. And we have that clip. We'll play it in a second. But fans were having a conversation about whether or not Nicki Minaj's husband should be doing that for her. Let's take a listen to what Keisha Kayor said about the apps and deleting them when she was here. For you, what was it like? I mean, because we're talking about Kim, what was it like just trying to protect the business that you guys have built while
I have a system.
Personally...
I take his apps off his phone. First thing I do, I delete Instagram. I delete everything. Even if I got to change his password, I'm changing it because I don't need the public to know he's having an episode. You realize you'd never know about any other episodes since September 13th because I control that. Because you're not going on Instagram, you're not going on Twitter, it's deleted. And I just control everything at home. And now before the episodes come, I catch it. So that's why he hasn't had another one. And how you catch that is he doesn't speak to you. He wants to be left alone. He don't eat. He does not sleep. Text messages, there's a period after each word. And I'm like, you're going through an episode. You're sick. No, I'm not. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Why do you think that? You're not speaking to me. Well, there's nothing to talk about. I said, well, that's not how you speak to your wife. And I'm like, you're sick. And we snap out of it, right?
Yeah, so...
What that got to do with Sister Minaj?
There's a lot...
I don't know if it works like that. I am not a doctor that has treated schizophrenia. I don't know if it's that simple, but...
Fans online having a conversation right now following our interview if whether or not Kenneth, who's Nicki Minaj's husband, should be doing the same for Nicki Minaj because
Absolutely.
She's online and there's a lot of things that she's saying and
But
different
that
things that
wasn't
are
the reason
happening.
she shot at Charlamagne, was it?
No, forget me. Why did she come at Keisha? I don't understand. Like, what did anything Keisha have to say had to do with her?
I'm not listen. At this point, I'm piecing together a puzzle, and I don't even know.
And Nikki is reading what the fans
Yeah, and because
are
yes,
saying,
that's
obviously.
what I think. Now, there's
taking offense to it.
my second theory here is when we asked this question about artists that came from Gucci's camp not showing him love. Let's take a listen.
I was super embarrassed and hurt by the things I said because like I wasn't well then, right? So then I got locked up. So a lot of those people who I was saying stuff to, they were like, they ain't never gonna mess with me no more. Mm-hmm. So even when I got out 3 years later, I still was like, I apologize to Ross, Drake, Nicki, like all them people accepted my apology. They just don't know. It's like a weight off my shoulders because I had been like, because I was wrong. Like,
I feel like Gucci gets his just due as an iconic figure in hip hop and all the artists he put on.
No.
But it ain't
What would you like to see, Keisha? Like, what?
I would like them, all of them, to acknowledge him, even if they win an award, acknowledge him because he gave you the stomping ground.
Mm-hmm. Most people don't know Nicki Minaj came out of that camp. French Montana came out of that
all
camp.
of
Most
them.
people don't know half those people. We know, but most people don't know that.
Migos, Thug.
Like most people
Because
don't
they
know.
don't say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm still so confused.
yeah. Listen, I'm just piecing together what I think.
That was the only time her name was even mentioned.
These are those moments where you can't piece together when someone might be having an episode, especially because, and I think that's where people are conflicted when it comes to Nicki Minaj, because they do believe that there are some valid points in her stream of thought, but then she invalidates some of it with her follow-up or what she includes in her tweet. Like in this tweet, she goes from talking about Keisha and Gucci to then talking about Jay-Z. And then posting this. And then today she's celebrating and posting all these different pictures about her and Kenny. And it's their anniversary. Mental health is real, y'all. And look, get help, right? Get help.
Only 2 times. Well, so that was the one time there were 2 times her name was mentioned in an interview. The other time he talked about, apologizing to her. And then, we talk about her coming out of the, Gucci camp. I really don't understand where all of this came from. That's just what I tried to put together.
Yeah, because she can't be upset that we had Gucci and Keisha on here to have a much needed conversation about Gucci dealing with his mental illness, right? Mm-hmm. Like Gucci, a man who has been clinically diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia, a man who is on medication. Him and Keisha are up here telling their story that will help millions of people. Like, Nicki couldn't possibly be mad about that, right?
But I do agree with whatever you saw in the comments of Kenneth need to be doing the same thing. He should be doing the same thing for his wife that Keisha Kayor did for her husband. Absolutely. Everybody should have a person who is going to help them when they hitting rock bottom or, you know what I'm saying? Everybody should have a Keisha Kayor who's going through, having mental episodes.
And I will always say, too,
now she's going to call you just with the test.
I can't with them. What do you guys think? Do you think that, I think we all can agree that the people around you should be a support and not your downfall. And that's one of the things in covering a lot of the different moments in the last few weeks when it comes to Nicki Minaj or the Nicki Minaj versus Cardi, Nicki Minaj versus Jay-Z. We've said, yes, she might have some valid points, but where is Kenny? Where is her husband of 6 years? They're celebrating their anniversary today. Where is he to be like, you got valid points, girl, but this is where we should go and talk about it, not social media. If you got a discrepancy and you are owed money from Jay-Z, well, let's go talk to our lawyer. But then again, when you look at his history, he doesn't have the best decision-making faculties either.
Oh, whatever. Who gives a hot goddamn? And I'm gonna be here to drag him again. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Everybody needs support in that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they always say when people at their lowest and they're actually trying to help people will try to attack that. And that's what Gucci did with this book. He's actually really trying to help people that's going through it and having problems with it. And because of that, sometimes he's going to get attacked on
I know people who are really big barbs, like they follow her every move. And I woke up this morning, like, and they were texting me like, what did y'all do? What happened? They were confused as well. As
the barbs was texting you?
I have a couple friends.
The fact that Bob got your numbers.
Well, I have a couple friends who were my friends before I knew that they were the barbs, you know, but now.
Who here? Look, who here is a barb? I don't know if I know any barbs like that. I know we have barbs in our community because you guys have said it. I'm a barb. I don't know if I know any real barbs in real life. And maybe I do. And after I say this, you'll come out and I'm like, I'm a barb, Kempire. You're a barb? You're damn near 50. Oh, my gosh. I'm sorry. This picture, though, it keeps sending me. This picture of Jay-Z is sending. I can't.
Did you know data brokers are making billions selling your personal information, usually without your consent? That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based support. Other companies might just sell credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/hidden. Protect yourself now at aura.com/hidden.
At 1-800-Flowers.com, we know that connections are at the heart of being human. Whether celebrating life's joys or comforting during tough times, 1-800-Flowers helps you express what words can't. For nearly 50 years, millions have trusted 1-800-Flowers to deliver thoughtful gifts that help create lasting bonds. Because it's more than just a gift. It's your way of showing you care. Visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast and connect today. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Sorry, I had to. She posted it. It's still up there, y'all. I got it from her account. Okay. So that's what the Breakfast Club had to say. They're confused as to what exactly happened in their interview with Gucci and Keisha for that made Nicki Minaj say the things that she said on social media yesterday. Nicki Minaj also deactivated her Instagram account. So I really thought that she was going to be quiet. Apparently not. Nicki Minaj is back on social media with lots of words and things. If you are a member of the channel, I am going to drop the call link for those that want to call in and share their thoughts on any of the hot topics that we have discussed this afternoon. This is your lunch hour of hot topics. We do this every once in a while. I feel like we've been doing it consistently for, before I was on vacation, but now I'm back. You used to be the sweetest girl says you have Kempire fans that are 50. I do. So I'm wondering, which one of y'all are barbs? Which one of y'all are barbs? Alex says, I know Beyonce be laughing. Maybe? I don't know. I really wonder. But okay. I wonder. I really, really, really wonder. All right. So I dropped the call link for you guys. What are the stories that I want to talk about? Oh, I covered everything? I mean, it is over an hour. I've been live for more than an hour. And I included additional things that I didn't plan to talk about. But there are some stories I saw when I first came in. You guys were talking about Melody Cherie. I haven't gotten the full details on that. So I might do a separate video on that. Because, I got to read through stuff too, guys. I don't just come here and start presenting. So let me go find out a little bit more about that. But if you want to hear my thoughts on that, make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that your notifications are on as well. Guys, let's get to 600 likes. We already have, over 1,400 of you watching on Twitch and on YouTube. So we appreciate you guys being here as well. Shout out to everyone that's in the chat as well. Kendra, thank you so much. This will be my snack money right here. I need to go get that cookie. She said, did you already talk about MJ from... Oh, I didn't talk about that, but I can. Thank you for the reminder. I completely talk, and this is the perfect place for us to talk about it. MJ from Shaw's. Let's talk about that. And the timing of this divorce. You guys know MJ from Shaw's of Sunset? You know she's married or was married. She's about to get a divorce. Let me bring up that article because she has filed for divorce from her husband of how many years? 7 years. Why does it feel like they've been married longer than that? I mean, they were together for a long time. Thank you, Kendra, for the reminder. So let me just tell you, MJ from Shaw's of Sunset, but as you know, they're filming a new reality show called, this is a working title, The Valley Persian Style. So they're doing something very similar to what they did with The Valley Vanderpump Rules. So they're doing a version of that for Shaw's of Sunset. And MJ is one of the stars along with Reza and Gigi. So yesterday I saw the news came out that Mercedes, MJ Javid, says that the sun has gone down on her union to Tommy because the Shaw's of Sunset star has filed for divorce after more than 7 years of marriage. The reality star filed the documents in Los Angeles Friday night, and that she lists the date of separation as last Friday, October 17th. So it seems that she didn't wait long to head over to the courthouse after the split. Again, I'm reminding you, they are literally in the middle of filming this season. Okay? She's citing the boilerplate irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split, and she's asking to block the court's ability to award spousal support to herself or her estranged husband. What did Tommy do for work again, y'all? Can you guys remind me? I can't even remember what he did for work. I remember she was in real estate, and then she was a reality star. And look, they're not doing real estate anymore, y'all. And I know now she's sort of like doing like podcasts and things like that. And now she's back into doing reality television. So Mercedes and Tommy married on April 21st, 2018, and they share a 6-year-old child together named Shams. And MJ is asking for sole physical and legal custody, but is open to visitation schedule for Tommy. A hearing in the divorce has been scheduled for December 18th. Damn, Elizabeth says nothing. Damn, Fifi said nothing. Wait. Damn, Tranquil says he married her for work. Sass says that he was a comedian. I never found him funny. Really? Green Girl says, didn't he own a bar? Well, that bar said closed at this particular point. Kawana says, was it construction? What is going on right now, y'all? So, as you know, Mercedes starred in all 9 seasons of The Shaw's of Sunset, appearing on the show from 2012 until it ended in 2021. Tommy also appeared on the show throughout the years, and the two had some well-documented ups and downs, as any couple does. They've reached out to Tommy for comment. So far, no word back. I wasn't completely shocked by this, and I wouldn't be shocked that this is her storyline. They are in the middle of filming the new season, The Valley Persian Style. Not sure if they're going to still keep that title. So, I mean, do I think they're really going to get a divorce? I do, because if you've watched their relationship over the years, you're probably surprised that they're still married. Millie says he did nothing. Oh. Daphne says, I don't recall him working. And look, as I said to you before, Mercedes hasn't done real estate in forever. I'm pretty sure after making tons of money on Shaw's of Sunset and that not being around has greatly affected their lives. And that is a top, if not number one reason for people getting divorces is financial reasons. So if he wasn't working and she was carrying the household, it's not shocking to me that she's just like, I can't do this anymore. And it wouldn't shock me that that's part of what people are saying during the season of The Valley Persian Style. Like, what does he do for a living? Is he not working? Blah, 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 blah. Again, I'm shocked that they're just getting just getting a divorce now. But anyway, T says Tommy ain't got no job like on Martin. I know, that name is so fitting for him. He ain't got a job. Well, she's getting a divorce. Okay? She's getting a divorce. All right, live chat. I'm going to drop the call link for you guys in just a second. We do have some members that are backstage. I did drop the call link on the post tab for the members. Live chat, keep liking the video. We're almost at 600 likes. Let me drop the calling for you guys that want to weigh in on any of the hot topics that we have discussed already. All right. I will be adding the timestamps after the live, after I get lunch or something. Just saying. Mimi, you are so late. We are pretty much done. We're on to the caller section of the show. It's okay, though. You can rewind back. Okay. All right. Nicole's backstage. We're going to bring Nicole up first. Nicole, what did you want to share in regards to... Oh, wait, before you say anything, Nicole, reminder, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors, and everything that they say is alleged. Go ahead, Nicole.
On my honor. So, how are you doing, Kempire?
I'm well. How are you?
Happy Tuesday. I'm doing well. Thank you. I wanted to talk on the Diddy situation because I feel like, especially now with the Epstein files needing to be released, Virginia Giuffre's, her book came out today, Nobody's Child. And I've been watching her. She's one of the first, as people don't realize, listeners, she's one of the first victims of Epstein's. And her book came out today, and I look at it like putting all the pieces together because Diddy hung around all those circles. And I really feel like he's not going to pardon Diddy because, one, he has such a vendetta against all the people he feels like have gone against him. Like you look at James Comey, you look at Letitia James, Adam Schiff is about to be next on the list. And so the only way I feel like if he does get pardoned, you got to keep in mind, Diddy kept tapes on a lot of people. He was like the black version of Epstein. Okay. So if he does get pardoned, you got to think about maybe something that he has in his back pocket. And so when you look at Prince Andrew, you go across the seas, overseas, Prince Andrew was stripped of all his titles. He was part of that circle too. Yeah. So you're starting to see all those things trickling down. And I think our good old America needs to wake up. This man is demolishing the White House as a distraction. And he's doing those type of things just to keep people not focused on the real issue. Predators will protect predators. And one thing I'm going to say, when you talk about, I'm a spiritual person like you, when it comes to slavery, I grew up in West Africa. My mom took me through the slave trade on my 10th birthday. And I'm half West African. And I'm going to tell you, those spirits are eating them up in that house. They already eating them up before he started demolishing it. But this man is erasing history. So he needs to wake up and realize, like them slaves, our ancestors, they're on his neck. And that's why he's doing the things that he's doing. He's making that house look like it's so gaudy and so bleak and so,
You need a whole lot of sage. All right. Thank you, Nicole, for calling in.
Okay, thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, it's so interesting. You probably, we don't talk politics all the time, but we do talk about DT because he was a celebrity before he was a politician. And it's so interesting because he's been talking about how he doesn't think that he's going to go to heaven, which to me is so interesting. Again, look, the people that follow him and that praise him and things like that, and you swear that you guys are Christian people. If the person that you love so much and you feel that it's upholding your virtues and values says to you, I'm not going to heaven, what does it say to you about the things that he's doing in the name of the Lord and you? He says that he is not going to heaven. So what do you think that means for you? Just asking, okay? The other story that we didn't talk about, Prince Andrew, it was revealed that he has been stripped of all of his titles. He's been stripped of any sort of royal... I mean, they already were backtracking on a lot of the things, that his royal duties and things like that. But it was officially announced that everything has been stripped from him. And I said, what's coming out? And then I heard about the book was coming out. And he's mentioned. So... that might be part of the damage control. Like, okay, he's no longer going to be a part of the family at all. But here's the thing. They could strip him of every title in the world, okay? He still is probably taken care of by his brother. Because what else is he doing? He will always be okay. They're not going to let him be on the street. So people are still going to refer to him as Prince Andrew. Unless he's in jail. All right. Let's bring up Angel next. Angel, what did you want to share about these hot topics?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so first hot topic. You were talking about it last night in TikTok. Give me Bob Whitfield or let me self-represent over Phaedra Parks. I am not taking her to represent me in anything. And I'm standing on that. And then for Miss Brandy and Miss Monica, the Bible, I am looking forward to the show. 2 weeks until they're here in my city. I'm debating going to the LA show though, because it's a 45-minute flight. Brandy, and this is so reminiscent of my childhood, my early teens. I like Brandy. Oh my God. Okay. So the crazy Scorpio mom, I had Dr. Dre the Chronic, and she made me return it because she's like, no way, not in her house. So she made me return it. And so the first CD I ever got and replaced was Brandy. And back in the day when you used to go to Sam Goody, if something would happen to the CD and it would scratch, you could return it and get another one. So then I got Monica. And then so I ended up with both of them. So this is just childhood. I'm looking forward to it. I want to go to the LA show because that's Brandy's hometown. And we might have some special guests. I hope Saray sings or something. So I think I'm going to do both shows. And that brand named with a B that will not be named, I think that's why she got dehydrated. Because if you see, she's wearing like the long sleeves under the cute shirts, and she's having the leggings and the thigh-high boots. So that's it. Give her some grace.
And she's a woman of a particular age.
Yes, ma'am.
She looks young, but she is a woman of a particular age.
I'm giving Brandy props because I've never seen her dance like this in my whole life. So she's out there getting it. I will not stop watching the YouTube clips, and I'm spoiling it for myself.
Me too. Me too, girl.
Yeah. Thanks, Kim. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. Well, you know what? I'm also watching it to the point where I'm like, I know as they tour and they do this more and more, they're going to get better and better and better. And one of the tweets that I posted before we were live was that I don't think people give Brandy enough credit for being a perfectionist, both vocally, but as a performer. And I haven't seen her this locked in when it comes to her choreo and performing since I saw her on Broadway. I think I saw her on Broadway twice, and she was doing Chicago. Sidebar, Chicago, on Broadway. And she was just so locked in. She was just very focused and she's very serious. And you see that that's what she's giving. And like I said, she is a woman of a particular age. We also don't know what people are going through. Dehydration sneaks up on you. Don't even realize that you're dehydrated. And for those that were saying, oh, a dehydration, but she performing tonight. Well, here's the thing. Once you figure out that you're dehydrated, they give you the things that you need and then you miraculously feel better. Just saying, I literally went to Pilates this morning. With Pilates, I made sure that because the weather's still not completely cold yet. So you still need to make sure that you're hydrating as much as possible regardless. You know, during the summer, I hydrate even more. But I also am very active too. So I put a little bit of that liquid IV in my water to make sure I'm staying hydrated. And right after this, I'm going to go have I'm going to fill this up because I haven't filled it up yet today. I'm going to fill up my water bottle and I'm going to make sure I stay hydrated. Make sure y'all are staying hydrated. Some of what you're feeling, some of those headaches, the fatigue, the depression, a lot of that has to do with your hydration. Bad skin, hydration. Hydrate, y'all. Just saying. Anyway. Kawana says Sam Goody's and strawberries. Oh, remember Sam? I used to love Sam Goody. Oh, for those that don't know what Sam Goody was, it was like a music store. You'd be able to buy CDs and like all the things. Oh, I used to love a Sam Goody. The only place now where you can go buy music like that is what? Best Buy? I don't even know if you can buy Best Buy in there. Okay. Hey, Ann, thank you for the reminder. Happy Celia Cruz Day and British Black History Month. I forgot it's Black History Month in the UK. Happy Black History Month. I almost forgot. Thank you for the reminder. Normally, I always put that up on my post tab. And you know what happens? The Black Americans are like, Kempire, it's not Black History Month. I'm like, y'all didn't read the damn caption. It says, Happy Black History Month to our UK fam. So happy Black History Month, UK fam. Sorry. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. Hope you enjoyed our lunch hour of Hot Topics. I will be adding the timestamps after this, after I go hydrate, okay? But feel free to watch it from beginning to end. And don't forget, you can also hear it on the Kempire podcast. And we have new merch. Are you okay? Merch available right now at houseofkempire.com, along with our tour merch as well. Go get it. All that information will be available in the description. Thank you to our King's Guards, our mods, and thank you so much, Kendra, for another super chat. Kendra says he was a marketing director for an internet lock company. Tommy, he was. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Happy Black History Month, UK. Happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month, fam, here in the States. Don't forget, we are doing a Breast Cancer Awareness Month fundraiser. We're trying to raise $3,000. We have not even hit 1,000. We just started like a week, okay? We can still do it. If you're watching the replay of this, it will be along here. But if you're here live, head on over to one of our last videos. The donation button is available there. Go donate if you haven't donated already. Help us. We're not even at 1,000. Our goal before the end of the month is 3,000. 100% of your donation goes to Black women's health imperative because Black women, the mortality rate when it comes to breast cancer is far greater than any other group. Help us help them change that narrative. More information on that will be available on all of our videos from this month. Go, go, go. All right, that's a perfect segue for me to get out of here. Bye, y'all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. And, of course, thank you to those of you watching in the bushes. I will see you all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.